Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a bit of a shortcut, really, to understanding something that touches everyone. The art of closing. Not just for salespeople, but, anytime you're guiding a decision.
Right.
And our source is this really interesting ebook, The Art and Comedy of Closing, a Human-Powered Sales Ebook, Pinoy Edition, by Rolex Reyes, RN.
That's right. And our mission today, I guess, is to sort of peel back the layers on the psychology, the cultural stuff Reyes talks about.
Yeah.
Because it's this Pinoy edition, so you get this mix of cultural things like haya, that sense of shame or saving face, and honestly, a good amount of humor.
Which makes it fun, right? Not just effective.
Exactly. Enjoyable to learn about.
And what really jumped out at me is how he flips common challenges, like that classic stall, "I'll think about it."
Ah, yes. The dreaded phrase.
Right. He says it's often not about your product, not really. It's more about what's going on in their head.
Mm-hmm. Understanding the mind.
So yeah, get ready. We're diving into the psychology of yes, but with this really specific Pinoy flavor. Okay, so let's unpack this first big idea. Reyes kicks things off saying, people don't buy products, they buy feelings. He calls it the emotional ATM.
Yeah, the emotional ATM. And it's central, really. He argues, especially in the Pinoy context he's writing for, that purchases are driven much more by feels than, pure logic.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about buying a car. It's not just transport to the office. It's maybe about looking pogy, looking cool or handsome in the neighborhood.
Different status?
Or even something small, like milk tea. It's not just thirst. It's often a reward, like, deserve ko to, best. I deserve this, friend. It's that little indulgence, that feeling.
I love that. And his analogy is great. Parang ba mo, may rules, si logic na dapat mo ipunga. Pero nandiyan si emotion na mumulong, Shopee sale, 50% off, bili na.
Sino panalo?
Si emotion siyempre.
Exactly. Logic says save. Emotion whispers sale. Buy now.
And emotion wins.
Usually, yeah.
So the takeaway for you listening is maybe stop just explaining features. Start showing the feeling they'll get. Feeling safer, more connected, maybe even, as he says, feeling artista, like a celebrity.
Mm-hmm. It taps into something universal, I think, but those specific cultural examples, they just make it so clear, so relatable.
Okay, so building on feelings. Reyes then gets into the nitty-gritty psychology, the triggers. He calls it the psychology of the psychology of yes.
Right.
And he talks about these biases our brains just love. Mga bias na paborito ng utak.
Yeah, bias is the brain favors. This is fascinating stuff. He breaks down 4 key ones. First, social proof.
Okay.
Marami nang bumili. Many have already bought. The thinking behind it is like, I don't want to be left out. Maybe I'm missing something. That FOMO.
Got it. FOMO. Fear of missing out.
Then scarcity. Last 3 na lang. Only 3 left. Your brain just immediately goes, hurry, you might run out.
Creates urgency.
Definitely. Third is authority. Sabi ng experto, the expert said so, which makes us think, well, if it's okay with the doctor or the expert, it must be okay for me.
Trusting the source.
Mm-hmm. And finally, reciprocity. May freebie. God, you get a freebie. This often triggers that feeling of obligation. Like, oh, that's nice of them. Okay, I guess I should, Nakakahiya man si kinana. It feels awkward not to reciprocate.
That example he gives about buying chocolate at the checkout.
Oh, yeah.
Kung feeling mo immune ka dito, tandaan. Pumili ka naman ng chocolate sa pila ng cashier kahit di mo plano. Yun na yun. Psychology, Jondo.
Exactly. If you think you're immune, remember buying that unplanned treat at the counter. That's it. It's psychology judo. We've all done it.
Definitely. But it does raise a question, doesn't it? If we're using these consciously, is it manipulative?
That's a really important point. I think Reyes frames it more as understanding how humans already operate. It's not about tricking someone. It's about recognizing these tendencies and maybe gently guiding someone if your offer genuinely helps them.
So removing barriers rather than creating false desire.
Precisely. And his tip is actually to combine them, maybe social proof, scarcity, and a freebie for, a bigger effect. But ideally, with good intentions. It's orchestration, not deception.
Okay, that makes sense. So if emotions and these biases are in play, what about objections like it's too expensive or the classic I'll think about it?
Right. This is where Reyes gets really insightful. He calls objections takot lang na nakabrong. Objection is just fear in a barong.
Fear dressed up in formal wear.
Exactly. A barong is this formal Filipino shirt, so the fear is hiding, trying to look respectable. His point is that nearly all objections boil down to some kind of fear.
Like what?
Well, Too expensive often isn't just about the numbers. It's takotan malugi, fear of losing money, fear of making a bad deal, fear it won't be worth it.
Yeah.
And pag-iisipan ko pa, I'll think about it. That's usually takot makamali. Fear of making a mistake, choosing wrong, regret. The root, he says, is almost always fear.
That's a big claim, that it's always fear. Sometimes, isn't it just, actually too expensive or not the right fit?
That's fair, and practical reality obviously exists, but Reyes pushes us to look deeper. Even when it seems practical, is there an underlying fear stopping them? Fear of commitment, fear they'll look silly.
So don't just argue the objection.
Right, don't contradict immediately, acknowledge it, but then try to understand and reassure the underlying fear. It's more about empathy than winning an argument.
His analogy with the neighbor and the borrowed towel is perfect here.
It really is. Parang kapitbahay mo mahilig magdahilan kung bakit hindi binabalik kung hiniram mong tuwalya, hindi siya masama takot na siyang mapahi.
Like your neighbor making excuses about the towel. They're not bad, just afraid of being embarrassed.
It makes you pause.
Yeah, rethink those interactions.
So to handle these fears and biases skillfully, Reyes offers these Jedi moves. I love that name.
Me too. They're psychological tactics, but framed as skillful guidance. He focuses on silence, anchoring, and framing.
Okay, tell me about silence as a power move.
Well, Reyes points out that beginners hate silence. They rush to fill it chatter, jokes, discounts.
Yeah, it feels awkward. It does. But pros know that after you state your offer or price, you just stop talking. Let the silence hang. It creates pressure, compels the other person to respond, to decide.
Like that jeepney analogy he uses.
Exactly. The Jeep stops. Nobody talks. One on it sasalita. Someone has to make the next move. Let the offer sink in.
Okay, I can feel that pressure. Then there's anchoring. What's that?
Anchoring is about setting a high initial reference point. Maybe you mention a premium option first, or an older, higher price. Then, when you reveal the actual lower price...
It seems like a great deal.
Right. It feels like, wow, mura na pala. Wow, that's already cheap. It changes their perception of value instantly.
And framing sounds like it's connected to that.
Definitely. Framing is how you present something, the context you give it, want them to feel smart, frame it as an investment, want them to feel elite, frame it as exclusive access.
You control the narrative.
Reyes insists, ikaw dapat nagsiset ng frame. Hindi sila. You should set the frame, not them. Own the perception.
That humor hook about telling your partner you'll be home late.
Oh, that one's brilliant.
Parang sabihin mo kay misis ng mga dembiyamoy ko. Dumaiti ka ng grandari, hero ka bigla.
Tell your spouse, home around 10, arrive at 9:30, instant hero. It's all about managing expectations through framing.
Okay, so we have these Jedi moves. How do we use them to get those smaller yeses building up and tap into that desire for status, the pogey points?
Right, these two concepts link together nicely. First is consistency is life, or the pa-yes technique.
Yes.
Yeah. The idea is people want to be consistent. So you get small agreements. First, maybe just a nod, agree on a small point, then a slightly bigger agreement. Then you lead towards the main yes.
Step by step.
Exactly. Like his election analogy. Biramilan po, just a signature, please. Next thing you know, there's a campaign sticker on your house.
Yeah. It escalates.
It does. So the tip is information first, then maybe a meeting, then the deal. Incremental commitment.
Okay. And the status at ego, the pogey points.
This taps into something deeply human. We care how others see us. People buy things not just for function, but for the image, the feeling it projects.
Like the luxury watch example.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's not just about telling time. It's a status symbol. It communicates something about you. Those are the pogey points, making you look cool, successful, admired.
Is that pogey thing very specific to Filipino culture, or is it just a label for a universal desire?
That's a good question. While pogey is a specific cultural term, the underlying drive, wanting status, wanting respect, wanting to feel good about how you're perceived, that's absolutely universal. Reyes just uses these really vivid local examples to show how powerful it is, especially maybe in more community-focused cultures.
That humor hook nails it. Walang bumili ng mamahaling bag para lang sa grocery. Bumili sila para ipakita sa Starbucks na may budget sila.
Right.
Nobody buys an expensive bag just for groceries. They buy it to show off at Starbucks that they have the money. It's about the signal it sends. We all do that in different ways.
So moving past the tactics now, Reyes puts a huge emphasis on the human side, the power of stories. Kwentong panalo. Story is the winner.
Absolutely. Stories just connect differently than facts and figures.
Yeah. Numbers inform, sure, but stories. They resonate, they stick with you, they build emotion. Telling a story about a customer who was skeptical but then succeeded, that's way more persuasive than listing specs.
His jeepney analogy for stories is good too.
Yeah, it takes you for a ride, brings you to the destination, and drops you where the driver wants. A good story guides the listener's understanding and feeling. His advice: always have stories ready.
And then the actual closing lines. He wants us to avoid the cheesy stuff, right? Closing lines na hindi corny.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Ditch the old pushy lines like, what's gonna take to get you into this today? Or, kaninga para umalis ka dito na may dala.
Yeah, cringe.
Totally. Instead, use natural, helpful, conversational approaches. Like, based on what you said, this seems to solve your problem. Do you want to lock it in?
Simple. Collaborative.
Or even just, do you want to do this now or should we set it up for next week? Gusto mo ngon, o set natin next week. It's direct, but not pushy.
That comparison to pickup lines is perfect.
Isn't it? Bad sales lines, parang bad pickup lines. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Ayro. Pero, kay na yung tapsilog. Ayos yan.
Bad sales lines are like bad pickup lines. Cheesy doesn't work, but let's grab some food. That's natural. That works. Keep it human.
Exactly. Genuine and relatable.
Okay, finally, Reyes highlights something often forgotten. Follow-up. Tung closing. The real closing happens in the follow-up.
It's so true and so often overlooked. The reality is most deals, most yeses don't happen on the first contact, not even close.
Because they're busy.
People are busy. They forget, they get distracted, they need time. Giving up after one try is just leaving opportunity on the table.
I love his analogy for this.
The crush text. Yeah, it's great. Parang nag-text ka sa crush, walang reply. Hindi ibig sabihin ayaw na nila. Minsan tulog lang sila o nanonood ng K-drama.
Like texting your crush, no reply, doesn't mean they hate you. Maybe they're asleep. Or watching a K-drama. It reframes no response completely.
Takes the sting out of it.
So the advice is simple, but tough. Follow up persistently until you get a clear yes or a clear no.
Yeah. No ambiguity, just clarity.
So pulling all this together, this deep dive really shows that closing, the way Reyes presents it, isn't about tricks.
Not at all. It's about genuinely understanding people, their feelings, their fears, their biases, and guiding them towards a decision that actually helps them.
And doing with humor, with cultural awareness, it builds connection, not just transactions.
Exactly. You build a relationship.
I keep thinking about his line, sales is human, humans are funny.
It really simplifies it, doesn't it? Use psychology, yes, but with good vibes, with authenticity. Remember, you're talking to another human.
It also makes you think more critically, I suppose, about how we make decisions, how we're influenced.
For sure. Understanding those hidden drivers, the anxieties, the desires for status, helps you navigate conversations better, whether you're selling or just communicating.
Okay, so here's something to leave you thinking about. Reyes includes this bonus section. 10 banat para sa, closing tension. These lighthearted, playful lines for tense moments.
Oh, yeah, like
relax, hindi magagagat yung ball pen. Relax, the pen won't bite. Or even cheekier, future self, madaba salamat na sakit.
your future self already thanked me.
Uh-huh. That takes confidence.
It does. But the provocative thought is, how can you bring a touch of that playful confidence, that humor, that human connection into your own important conversations? Not necessarily those exact lines, but that spirit. Think about how a little understanding, a bit of lightness, could change the dynamic when you're trying to persuade someone, share an idea, or even just connect. Could it make deciding easier, maybe even enjoyable? It's a great question. Because as Reyes reminds us, maybe the most effective approach is just to genuinely enjoy the process of connecting and guiding. That energy is contagious.
Couldn't agree more. Till next time, keep diving deep.